Hidden in the deep depths of the forest in Orange County, California, lies a hidden waterfall. Hiking through rough terrain, climbing up tree branches, rocks, to a hidden mine, we'll see if we can discover this hidden waterfall in the forest. So the adventure begins.
You have a focus. Okay.
Through a primitive Forest Service road in Trabuco, California, will take us to the hidden gem in Cleveland National Forest. Here is a breakdown of the map. This hike is roughly 1 mile away from Holy Jim Falls, a popular hiking trail in Cleveland National Forest. I recommend you bring bug spray on this hike. So this hike is a very short hike. It's just under a mile round trip with low elevation gain, but it is going through dense forestry and rocks and creeks. So the hike begins right here, and the road is very primitive. It's not paved. So if you do this hike, remember to use a SUV or four-wheel drive coming up here. So right here is the Trabuco Ranger District Board. So right here is a nice little parking spot you could park at. And they're just letting you know not to litter in the forest. And there is a creek right next to it, which is really neat, relaxing, and peaceful. So I'm going to go ahead and leave a link to the map of the hike. And I'm going to go ahead and leave a link to my Patreon if you would like to become a member. And basically you just stay on this Forest Service road until you reach a turnoff. And there are a lot of oak trees throughout this forest. Various forms of vegetation, plant life radiating throughout this area. Once you make your way down the road a little bit more, there's going to be a little hidden spot right here. It looks like a trail, but it's very easy to miss this section. And you basically just got to slide down this little path right here. So it's very primitive, and a lot of people will miss it when they drive to go to Holy Jim Falls. And that's why it's considered a hidden waterfall, because it doesn't even have a trail sign. So you basically have to really look out for this. And you could also look it up on Google Maps. So you'll be able to find it if you just look up Falls Canyon Trail, which will show up on the Google Maps. And when you get down that little sliding path hill, you're going to see this little creek right here. So the creek, you're just going to cross it right here. And when you go past this creek a little bit more, you're going to see just a little bit ahead that there's going to be a mine on your left hand side. So that right there is like a little cave or a mine. So I'm going to go ahead and check it out. And I'm just going to basically cross over this creek right here. And I'm going to try to climb over those tree branches and rocks to get to it. So just be very careful when you try to get close to this mine. There are some tree branches and there are some rocks you can climb on. But just take your time so you won't slip and fall and injure yourself. But it's not too difficult to get to. And it's actually a pretty small mine / cave. And you could basically just hide in there. So when I get above this, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm actually just going to take a look to see what this mine actually looks like on the inside. And so this mine is actually basically close to where the trail's at. So it shouldn't be too difficult to find. But this is what's inside this little mine right here. Here's a closer look. So the mine right here, which is a close-up look right here, there really isn't much. It's just like a small cave. And basically from that point you can get another view of the creek. And basically we're going to get back on the path. And we're going to try to find this waterfall to see if we can stay on the trail. So the trail is very narrow. And it's easy to miss because the forest is very dense. And there are some creek crossings. So this trail isn't as popular as the Holy Gem Falls trail. But it's pretty neat because it's not a long hike. And if you can make it through all this dense forest and vegetation, you'll be rewarded, assuming you find it. But basically, you just gotta stay close to the creek.
Yeah, about right there. Yeah, right there's good. And I'll just climb up.
And you will have to climb down some of these paths along the hill. And you will see some cascades when you make your way up to the hike. And there are quite a few creek crossings on this trail. And right there is actually the trail, which goes uphill a little bit. So it does have some elevation gain, but it's not a crazy amount of elevation gain. And you do have to climb over these branches and trees to get to it. And we are approaching it. And it looks like we found it. So I'm going to go ahead and just get close to this waterfall. And it's actually pouring down pretty good. So this is actually a 40-foot waterfall. And this trail is actually 0.8 miles round trip. If I'm not mistaken, it's about 200 feet of elevation gain, which isn't a whole lot, but it looks like we found it. I hope you enjoyed this adventure. Please like and subscribe.